Hi everyone, welcome to 505 Games at Gamescom. My name is James, a brand community manager here at 505 Games. And today I'm joined by Mark and Halli from Bearded Ladies. Friends.
Hello,
Hi.
Romans and countrymen. Yes, I just wanted to say that. So.
How are you finding Gamescom?
It's been 2 long years without any major events, so it's really nice to come out here, show what we've been cooking with you guys for 2.5 years, meet industry friends.
And yeah, like Halli says, we catch up with a lot of old friends, lots of people saying hi, seeing a lot of interesting stuff. We're lucky as exhibitors being able to go around and check out the booths before everybody shows up. But it's also super good to have people actually coming and looking at our game for the first time, playing our game. So it's really...
I would say that was probably the biggest thing for this event, to be able to share with the world what we've been brewing.
That leads us nicely into Miasma Chronicles. So what can you tell us about Miasma Chronicles? What is it?
Well, Miasma Chronicles is a passion project of ours. A while ago we made a game that a lot of people really enjoyed called Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden. Miasma is in some ways a spiritual sequel, but in other ways it's an evolution of that game. We took the elements that we really liked ourselves, and we took the elements that the players really enjoyed, and we turned all the dials up. I'm not going to say to 11, but to 10.5.
Just crank it a little bit.
We took that and we expanded on everything that we liked.
It's working! Oh, holy moly! Just keep that mind blank, little brother.
We have the ambition to do bigger and better games for every game we make. And I think Miasma is a living proof of that.
Definitely. Obviously, I've had hands-on with it as well, which is wonderful. So we've mentioned about Mutant Year Zero. So what would you say are the main kind of differences between that?
I think we've been able to address certain areas where we were not that pleased with in Mutant. Things like the stealth system is redone. A lot of the problems that we had with tactical have been ironed out.
Mm-hmm. We've got a big focus on the narrative because that's a big part of our game, so we want to improve and expand that, so we have characters you can talk to in the hub towns of the games. We now have interactive characters with branching dialogues where you can get quests and side missions, and one of the things we added to this game is a lot of side quests where you can go off and find rewarding items and interesting storytelling outside of the main story arc.
We did actually dive into all the user reviews we have on Steam, and what we found out was that a majority of people who wrote positive reviews were actually RPG players and not necessarily turn-based tactical players, and that was a revolution for us actually. And so with Miasma we have tilted our ambition to more towards RPG, and there are more RPG elements in Miasma than it was in Mutant. And it feels really, really good.
It certainly feels very rich, especially playing it behind closed doors at the moment. Like just going into the narrative, that's certainly what's pulling me into the game. A couple of days ago, we recently announced the character trailer. Then, so what more can you tell us about the characters? We've got Elvis, we've got Diggs, Jade, and Mayor Mason as well. So, who's your favourite?
My favourite's absolutely Mayor Mason, but Diggs is a close second. One of our kind of trademarks of the Bearded Ladies is that we're into narrative, we're into characters and storytelling, and we wanted to have some new characters that would bounce off each other and work well together, but also have a good dynamic. And we wondered what we could do with Elvis and who his companion would be from the start. And we thought a robot would be a great companion. And for the mayor of the town, we wanted to have something kind of dystopian future, but also a little bit on the humorous side. So we picked Mayor Mason.
Yep, the guy in the jar.
What about you, Halli?
Out of those characters that we have actually presented, then I think Diggs is kick-ass. The way he behaves, there are no problems. Everything is doable, and he's a machine. He's a love machine. who loves to fight.
It's really gung ho, Diggs.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, because he's not a living thing, he tends to kind of be a risk taker. So he's much more willing to go like jump in with both feet to stuff. And he doesn't think about everybody else because he can weld his arm back on if it comes off or whatnot. So it's not really a problem for him to take a few hits.
So yeah, I love all that, especially with Diggs and how he moves on the battlefield and the combat scenario. You can use him as like an extra shield. So it's a tactical turn-based RPG. So what more can you tell us like about that combat?
We have a similar formula to Mutant. So when we talked about narrative, we haven't forgotten about the tactical side. That's the core of the combat and action in the game. We have a lot of explorative stuff, but the tactical is deep at the heart of the game still. As Halli mentioned earlier, we've expanded on the stealth system. We have a much more precise system to what we did before. We have an ability to distract enemies. You can throw items and enemies will walk off and you can get them out of the pack and isolate them and take them down. We have interactive objects in the background which can be targeted, which make explosions, for example. Now we have a shared inventory for the party members so they can access anything, any consumables, health items or grenades, etc. They can use those at any time during tactical.
All of those things, we've spent a lot of time in developing the UI and the UX. The whole experience is by far more user-friendly and it's more sort of the same experience throughout the whole UI. As Mark mentioned, with the backpack now, you can swap characters without having to strip them first and then refit them, which is
very useful.
Yeah, the aim is to keep the players more in the game than in the UI.
It certainly feels like that. It certainly feels grounded. It feels realistic. It feels like it fits within the world that you're kind of creating. So this sounds like an actual big endeavor. How's the development been, especially during COVID times?
It's been a lot of fun, but it has been different due to COVID. A lot of team members have worked from home. Now the studio is based in Sweden, so we were never in a forced lockdown. But I think that's probably been one of the...
It's been hard.
The big differences between previous titles.
But after COVID, people still, in some cases, wanted to work predominantly or almost completely from home. And we just said, well, it works, so let's just still do it.
Keep with it. So, like, speaking of the studio then, like, the Bearded Ladies, what more can you tell us about you guys?
We all listen to each other's ideas, we all talk. The team puts their heart into what they do.
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
And they own what they do. So they get parts of the game where it belongs to them. And they like that, they love that, to be creative without being constantly, micromanaged.
Yeah. No one likes
So that's how we work, because we find that we get the best result.
Exactly, yeah, but it's from early 2016. We started as 3 guys, and now we are over 30. So it's been a process, and it's hard work making games. It's bloody hard work making good games, but I think I'm absolutely convinced that the team really thrives doing it, and I think the games that we produce are a living proof of that.
Guys, thank you ever so much for joining me. When is Miasma Chronicles out?
Miasma is out in next year in 2023.
Fantastic, wonderful. So Miasma Chronicles out 2023. Mark, Halli, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you
James.
so much.
Thanks.
And we'll see you guys on the other side.